maybe the wife bails out, they have an argument and they decide, let's go our separate ways. And then the person who is being petitioned for ends up wallowing into some kind of phobia. That, oh God, and now I'm divorced. And now my papers are not even done. And then they go underground for years and years. I know such people. And they're afraid to come out. And maybe they are married again to someone else. What can you tell these people? Should they come to you too? There is a way that you can help such people?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think those are the most unfortunate situations because people just panic. And sometimes that panic comes from the US citizen they were married to or the green card holder they were married to, who tries to make you feel like I'm in control.
Yes.
Because I have paperwork. If I file for you, you know, if I choose not to file for you, so
we have begun already, so
okay.
There is no beginning. I'm usually so freestyle with this.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
So guys, welcome again to another episode. I know it's been almost a month or two. It's because of lacking people of quality like Mercy here, a lawyer. Actually, let me say, one of the youngest lawyers I know. Yeah, and who actually is not employed in downtown working for the government, but doing your own. You have your own law firm?
Yes, I have my own practice, yes.
Wow. Can you introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Mercy. I'm an attorney. I'm licensed here in North Carolina and also in Minnesota. I practice mostly immigration. I'm based out of Durham, but I take cases from different states.
You're based in Durham, but you can practice in Raleigh.
Yes.
You can practice anywhere in North Carolina.
Yes, so I can practice anywhere in North Carolina for state law, but for immigration, I take clients from all over the country, really, any state.
So you can really work for anyone.
Yes.
Around the country.
Yes, I have clients all over.
Is it true that for you to be an effective lawyer, you have to be very connected and older and very seasoned out there, knowing the judges? Is it true? Is it true?
So it depends on the kind of practice. For immigration purposes, because it's federal, that's not really something that's required. It's more of the law itself. Other practice areas, that may be true.
That may be true. So I should not worry that you're too young to represent me.
No, absolutely not.
You know, that's one thing we Africans are scared of. What does she know? And who does she know? You know?
Right.
Yeah.
And I can understand that.
Have you ever gotten, I'm sure they won't tell you, but people will try to go for maybe an older one or an American one who is older and kind of, we think they might be well connected. Maybe they know the judge and stuff like that. But I don't think it's that way in immigration.
Yeah, in immigration, it really isn't. And I haven't heard that from people. Maybe that's something that people may think, but never tell me.
That's what people think. And we don't tell you.
Right, but the clients I've worked with, I mean, it's been great.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, and so how did you tell us about your life? The lady from Zimbabwe, beautiful lady from Zimbabwe.
Yeah, so I was born in Zimbabwe. I grew up in Zimbabwe in a town called Bulawayo. Yes, and it's the second largest city in Zimbabwe. And I moved to the US when I was 18. I came for college. So I went to school in Georgia, and then from there.
And then sometimes look at the camera too.
And then, and then from there I went to law school, University of Virginia. Then I worked in Minnesota. I worked in Georgia. And then I eventually moved to North Carolina. So now I'm based in North Carolina.
Yeah. Married with kids. Wow. This is a perfect life. My goodness. Considering people like me who came and dropped out of college.
Everyone's path is different.
I know, it's all different.
Yeah.
One of those guys who were like, college, I ended up in Wake Tech doing I did a degree in automotive. Those trucks. Yeah. But you know, just so that I can please my parents.
Yeah, nice. You just find your path.
Yeah, that's really good. And you look so young and you've accomplished so much.
Thank you.
What would you tell a lady like you who is 20 years old right now, who is trying to take that kind of a path? Because there are so many and they really don't have an idea.
Right.
Especially being African, and they don't know if they'll be accepted in such such an avenue. Because everyone is like, do nursing. You come here, everyone telling you, just go to the health field. Become a nurse or a pharmacist, and that's it. You know, what will you tell them?
Yeah, and I think one of the most important things is just doing your research, finding people who are in the field, and having those conversations with them. How does it work? How do I get to law school? And when I'm in law school, what opportunities are there, and how do I plan for the future?
Yes.
So I think that's an important thing for people to seek out if you're looking into a career path. Look at people who are already in it and have those conversations. And also, there are Africans in a lot of different fields. So sometimes we think, that, well, I have to follow this path or that path. But if you want to do engineering, there is an African who's doing engineering here in the US. See if you can find one and talk to them and see what does the field look like. So I think that's one of the important things, and just not being discouraged.
Okay.
And if that's what you want to do, make sure that you really go for it.
Yeah. So you being a lawyer now, there are so many people, so many Africans. Let me talk on behalf of Africans. A lot of them hiding, just doing their job, going to work in the morning, maybe get an Uber, or maybe for some mere luck, they ended up with a driver's license, and they go to work, stick to this one job for years and years because they don't want to alter anything. They're afraid to approach the immigration, and maybe there are some loopholes or opportunities to file. So many of them. So can we maybe talk to them today a little bit? For example, let's start with the current situation politically. President Biden came in, and what are the few changes that we could take advantage of in terms of someone with no papers and they think that, wow, and there's some darker kind of the Dream Act thing. Maybe there are people who've never applied because they're afraid of something. Give us a few pointers of maybe the political situation right now and the immigration situation right now.
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of things have changed really in the short time from when this administration took over from the last administration.
Okay.
One of the biggest changes was the public charge rule. Because under the Trump administration, they had put an enhanced public charge rule that required...
What is public charge rule?
So the public charge rule is a rule that says if you're going to immigrate to the United States or adjust status to get a green card, you have to show that you will not become a public charge. That means you will not become the government's responsibility financially. And that's a rule that has existed for a long time. So if someone is petitioning for you, maybe like your wife is petitioning for you, they have to show that they make enough money to cover your expenses. If they don't, they have to use a joint sponsor who shows that joint sponsor makes enough money to cover their household plus you.
So it makes it real hard.
Right. But in the past, all you needed was just a joint sponsor to just, if they make enough money, they sign, or if the person who's petitioning for the immigrant, if they make enough money, then they just sign.
Okay.
But under Trump, that rule was made even more difficult because the intending immigrant now had to submit a credit report. They had to submit bank statements for the past 12 months. They had to submit so much more information than was required regularly.
And it's so hard to get.
It's very difficult. So when Joe Biden became president, that rule was removed.
Okay.
So now we're back to what it was before Trump. Yeah, which is making it easier because it was very difficult. And under the Trump administration, they were trying to make that even worse. If you found a joint sponsor, they wanted that joint sponsor to go and get their fingerprints taken, to submit their bank statements, to submit their credit report.
And the joint sponsor could be out of the country?
They could, but they had to be either a U.S. citizen or a green card holder.
Oh my God.
So that person, you know, you can ask a friend, hey, can you help me? I want to sponsor my wife.
Yeah.
They don't mind maybe giving you their tax returns. But if you now ask them to go and get their fingerprints taken, submit their credit report, they'll be like, no.
Oh my goodness. I will be embarrassed because my credit report is not the best. They want my credit?
Right. So it was making it such an inconvenience, and in a way, it was a way to discourage people from really becoming a joint sponsor.
Oh, so talking about credit, does it affect your credibility when you file papers of any nature?
So it at the time, under the Trump administration, it was coming into play because you have to submit your credit report. If you have a credit score, you had to submit it.
Oh my goodness.
But now that's no longer required.
It's not required.
So under this administration, we don't have that anymore.
Okay.
And then we're seeing other changes as well, like the lottery, the diversity lottery. That one was on the way to be chopped under the Trump administration, but under this administration. There isn't any danger of that.
Okay.
And then just different policies that this administration has adopted. You can see that they're more immigrant friendly.
Is the speed of filing, has it increased or it's still the same?
Right, so the processing times haven't really changed.
Okay.
We saw a big slowdown last year, and that was mostly for COVID-related reasons. So right now, it hasn't really recovered fully. We're seeing like work authorizations are taking quite a longer time than they used to before.
Okay.
But a lot of that is because of the backlogs due to the COVID slowdown last year. So hopefully within the next few months, as things get better, we'll see that change as well.
Okay. So you as a business, as a lawyer, as a law firm owner, how do you kind of encourage people who don't have straight up cash to pay you? Do you come up with some kind of a payment plan? What do you put in place? Because a lot of foreigners out there are really struggling, and actually some of them are not filing anything because maybe the money issue, you know, but maybe they can pay little by little. Do you have such a thing with your company, or building such a thing?
Yeah, so in general, when somebody becomes a client, you have a discussion with that client. You tell them, you know, how much your services cost, and then you work with them what would work on your end that also works for me as a business owner. And you come up with a plan that you know that can work for both of us. So yeah, that's definitely something that I would work with.
Or that you would work with.
Yeah.
And how do you operate with people out of state, especially with immigration? Is it phone calls, Zoom?
Yeah, so really everything, phone calls, Zoom, things that need to be emailed can be emailed, things that need to be sent by mail.
You really need
can be sent by
physical
mail.
meetups.
Correct, yes. Yeah. I have a lot of clients that I've never met in person.
Okay.
We've just been talking Zoom and phone calls.
Oh, so my guys, if you need an immigration lawyer, here she is. She's right here. I can tell you the truth. She's done good work for people that I know. I know citizens who are now citizens because they went through her. Actually, you even shared one for us the other day, and I was like, wow, you're doing a great job.
Right.
You're doing good.
Thank you.
So basically, my friends, I'll put the number down here or maybe up here, and make sure you call. Do you have a name for your law firm, or is just Mercy the lawyer? So
my practice is called the Law Office of Mercy Changwesha PLLC.
Okay, PLLC. So let's take a situation. Husband, wife. Wife is filing for husband. But you know, people work here, even sometimes without the papers. They're breaking the law basically. And I know some people who are scared to approach the immigration because of that. I know someone who went to file papers and they went for the interview, but they failed to use a lawyer. And maybe that's why they should use a lawyer all the time. And he ended up going home by himself because he was denied because he was told, hey, you've been working here. Why have you been working? We see you signed here that you're a citizen and you're not, you know? Why did you do that? And he ended up going home, leaving a kid and a wife. And I don't know why he ended up home. And on the other hand, I've seen some people go through without a problem. Why is it that way? Why is it that there is that inconsistency? And is it because maybe they did not use a lawyer or something?
So those situations, it really depends on the specifics of each person.
Okay.
One of the most difficult things to recover from is ever claiming to be a U.S. citizen. USCIS takes that very seriously.
Yes.
So if you've ever signed for that you're a U.S. citizen for a job application, if you've ever voted in a federal election and you're not supposed to, because that's open for U.S. citizens only. So those things are very difficult to recover from.
Okay.
And there isn't a waiver available for that.
Yeah.
So some people have claimed to be a U.S. citizen, but then it never came up.
Yes.
They've claimed to be a U.S. citizen when they filed their paperwork, maybe for work. And some people, it comes up because when you file that application, it does ask where you've worked before, all those things, and USCIS sometimes
even if it's 10 years down the line.
Right. And USCIS sometimes, somehow, may be able to get a hold of those I-9s that you file.
Okay.
But depending on when it was that you filed that I-9, you may have a way out, because in the past, the I-9 used to ask you, are you a U.S. citizen or U.S. national, on one line.
Yes.
So if you
that was back then.
Right. So if you ticked yes, for legal purposes, were you saying I'm a U.S. citizen or were you saying I'm a U.S. national?
Yes.
So you could, an argument can be made there. But the I-9 that is in place right now asks, are you a U.S. citizen?
Specific.
And that's it.
Yes. So
it's very difficult to recover from that if it's something that that you signed and something that comes up. So for legal purposes, for immigration purposes, that is really a way to end your entire immigration journey.
Yes.
Yeah. So even for people who would need to work, it's not really advisable to claim to be a U.S. citizen, because that can block your pathways down the road.
Down the road, especially today.
Yes.
Oh wow, wow, that's really good. But of course, if someone has a little path to go on, they can always call you and discuss.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
You encourage people to usually use a lawyer, right?
I really do, because people think an immigration lawyer just fills out forms.
Okay.
And they think that's, I can just fill out my own form. You see?
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot more that goes into what an immigration attorney does for you than just completing forms.
Yes.
Number one, even what forms you need. That's something that I look at.
Yes.
What's your situation?
Yeah, depending on your situation.
Right. Then I can be like, okay, for this situation we need this. Depending on your history, I can tell you, here we're going to need a waiver.
Oh.
And we can go ahead and file for a waiver before we even file for anything else, right? Looking at your evidence, I can tell you your evidence is weak.
Yes.
What we need to add to make this more solid is ABC, right?
Yes.
There are things that you would think would be helpful that you want to submit to USCIS.
Yes.
I can look at it and I'll tell you, this may be helpful for this aspect of your application, but it's going to give you problems on this aspect.
Yeah.
So this is not helpful for us to submit.
Yeah.
So it's a full analysis of your entire case, and also for purposes of consistency, because sometimes when people file on their own, when they go to the maybe they go to the embassy to get a B1, B2 visa, right? They get there, they say one story. They come here, they want to adjust status, maybe based on marriage, based on a child who's over the age of 21 who's a US citizen. They submit a whole other story, right? Now, those things that you submitted at the embassy and what you're submitting now are not consistent. And we usually think they don't communicate. It's not going to come up, you see? So, and if you made a mistake at the embassy and you told them something, maybe you said, I'm not married. Maybe you said, I don't have any kids, right? And now you're here and your application for these purposes now requires you to say, I have kids, and or I have a husband, married. You see?
Yes.
So those are things that we can look at and say, okay, maybe we need to apply for a waiver. Maybe you need to wait a little bit before you send this application. So that's the analysis that goes into what are we filing? What evidence are we submitting?
Yes.
And that's where an attorney comes in. Even when it comes to times for interview, I can help prepare you for that interview. Because a lot of times you just think, you know, it's just questions about me and my husband. How difficult can it be? And you just go in and answer. You see?
Yes.
But it's very helpful to have that preparation.
That preparation.
Yes. Because sometimes, even with existing clients, I've helped them. I've filed the petition. We've done everything. We have a notice. We have an interview in 2 weeks. I say, okay, I'd like to schedule a session for us to prepare. And they say, we don't need it. We, you know, we're fine.
Okay.
And I'll say, because they think, I know my husband. My husband knows me. It's fine. You see? But
and it ends up being a mess.
It ends up being a mess. And it's because they are just things that I've seen from going to so many interviews that I can help you be on the lookout for.
Yes.
For example, you have a lot of people that go, especially the ones that petition for each other as a married couple. They go for an interview. If they are separated, and sometimes those separations are random. You walk in, they say, okay, we want to talk to the husband first, right? It doesn't mean there was anything wrong with your petition.
Yes.
They ask the husband, what did you get for your wife for her birthday? He's embarrassed to say, I didn't get her anything. So he says, I got her A, B, C, D.
And then the wife...
You understand?
Yes.
So those are things that you try to explain to people before they go for the interview, that the officer is not trying to see whether you have a good marriage. He's not trying to see whether you're a good husband.
Yes.
You know, because every marriage is different. He's just trying to see, are you married?
Are you married for real?
Yeah, exactly. If in your marriage you don't give each other gifts, that's fine.
Yes.
You know, that's okay. So those are the few things that you prepare for as well.
I didn't give her anything.
Then you feel bad because you think, oh, he's going to judge me.
And then they ask her.
And of course you got nothing.
Oh,
so she will say nothing. So those are the small things that it really becomes helpful to have an attorney working with you, just preparing you for those small things and making the whole process smooth.
So there is this group of people that usually file, and then things go bad before even the filing is complete. Maybe the wife bails out, they have an argument and they decide, let's go our separate ways. And then the person who is being petitioned for ends up wallowing into some kind of phobia that, oh God, and now I'm divorced. And now my papers are not even done. And then they go underground for years and years. I know such people. And they're afraid to come out, and maybe they're married again to someone else. What can you tell these people? Should they come to you too? There is a way that you can help such people?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think those are the most unfortunate situations because people just panic. And sometimes that panic comes from the US citizen they were married to or the green card holder they were married to, who tries to make you feel like, I'm in control.
Yes.
Because I have paperwork. If I file for you, you know, if I choose not to file for you, so people get scared.
And they bail out. And the thing is pending out there forever. Yeah.
So if you have a pending application, even if you decide, okay, this marriage is not going to work, sit down with an attorney and discuss your options, because you still have options, and it's several different options. You might have to withdraw that petition, because sometimes withdrawing it is a much better outcome for you than being denied.
Being denied.
So you might want to just go ahead and say, okay, I withdraw my petition on my own. Number two, if your spouse was abusive, and which abuse takes a lot of different forms. Sometimes it's physical, sometimes it's verbal, sometimes it's emotional, psychological.
Yes.
Some people abuse you financially. You may be able to convert that application that you filed into a different application, which is a VAWA application. That is for abused spouses. And, and those are, whether this abused spouse is a man or a woman, they can qualify for VAWA. So those, and VAWA is not something that you can qualify for forever. So you have a short window of when you can file for VAWA, especially if you do get divorced. Because you must file it within 2 years of being divorced.
Within 2 years, okay.
So a lot of people just, which is understandable because you
go
panic,
underground,
right?
And they're like just doing this, and they have this job, and they are comfortable, and
so it's advisable to just sit down with an attorney and say, okay, this is my situation, because sometimes you can be thinking there's no hope here. This whole thing is a mess now. There's nothing I can do, but there may be an option for you. And also depending on what stage that application was abandoned at. So if you had already gotten your 2-year green card, right, and now you were trying to file for your 10-year green card, and things fell apart, you have even more options than someone who had not gotten the green card at all. Right, because now you can file, you can just get a divorce and file by yourself, and so explain to immigration there's an option for that, you know, we were married in good faith, we got divorced, and all they want to see
so
is
they won't jump at you, hey, you got divorced before you filed, you guys are flawed, you know. So you have to say, okay, and submit that evidence. If you ended up being abused in that relationship, you can file again based on that. If your spouse dies, because some people, they're married, maybe they have the 2-year green card, the spouse dies, they just decide, oh, well, I guess that's the end of that. But you could have filed as a widow or widower and still gotten your conditions removed. So the options are always there, but you do have to sit down with someone and say, okay, this is the situation. Then we do an analysis of the whole case and decide, okay, in this situation, this would be helpful for you to file this or file that. So it's always advisable to consult with an attorney and really see what your options are. Wow, if everybody watches this video, I think you should be having a waiting list along on the nursing program, because you'll be like, oh, this is a lot of work. Because I know so many people who actually just are comfortable where they are. A lot of them in churches, you know, just go to work, church on Sunday, and it's kind of tough.
It's very tough. And the other thing that people don't realize is that you don't even have to have paperwork to start a business. So if that was something that you were interested in, you can register a business, you can do all that. So it doesn't always have to be...
so you can do a business and not break the law.
Exactly,
Because there's nowhere you feel like you say I'm a citizen.
Correct, yes.
That's not bad at all. Wow. You know, we can talk for another 2 hours because I'll go to another question and another. I think people, you better call her or, you know, comment down here and, you know, I'll put the number, I'll put your website link. And any one of you, you know, she's available to talk to. And I'm sure you don't charge a lot in terms of advising, you know, a 1 hour phone call. She'll tell you how much. She won't say how much it is here, but you know, whatever she charges, I am sure if you tell her that you saw the video here and you tell her that you want some advising, I'm sure she'll give you a good deal. She'll help you out, you know. And, you know, Mercy, one thing I'm proud about you is, you know, how young you are and so beautiful. You've kept yourself well. You know, you've really placed yourself well professionally, socially, you know, and also, you know, you business-wise. At this age, very few ladies do that, you know. I came here, beautiful, big, humongous house.
Thank you.
Yes, and you know, big up to Ngashmundo, you know, Weni Baba Yao. So, has it been all smooth? Like, Did you come from a rich family or something? What was your path? Yeah.
So, like I said before, I grew up in Zimbabwe, and my mom was a teacher. She's been a teacher for over 40 years.
Okay.
And she was always very big into academics.
Okay.
So even though she didn't have much in terms of finances, she was always very big on, if you do your best in school, you know, things will line up.
Yes.
And I think all of us, our siblings, really took that and really did our best in school. So I was able to get a scholarship to come and study in the US. I came to Georgia, and then from there I was able to get another scholarship to go to law school. So while I can't say it's been easy, you know, but I've been fortunate enough to be able to pursue the opportunities I wanted to pursue and be able to do it successfully.
Okay. Wow, because you've done it well. You've done it well, because I know you. I've known you for a while, you know, and you've done it well.
Thank you.
Yes, and you know, so tell me, another one of the last questions. As a lady, as a woman, have you seen any kind of very tough situations? Like in Kenya, women really go through a hard time into the professional level and really getting an equal playing field with men. How has it been for you in this field and in this country? Can any lady out there just walk in and grow like you? And also, what do you see ahead of you, you know, as a lady? How is the path as a woman?
And I think I've been fortunate enough to have a lot of mentors.
Okay.
Both female and male.
Okay.
And they've really helped me to navigate entering this profession and also becoming a business owner. So I can't say that I've felt like being a female has slowed me down in this profession.
Okay.
I've been fortunate enough to be able to really have people who have been in the profession, and even people who are in other professions as well, who are you know, doing business and all that, and being able to talk to them, I think has helped me really avoid maybe some of the challenges I could have faced.
Okay.
So I can't say that I feel like being female has made things difficult for me. Yeah, and I've been able to reach out, because sometimes you encounter some situations where you're not sure how am I supposed to handle this. So I've been fortunate to have people I can reach out to and say, okay, so in this situation, what would be helpful? And I hope to be able to do that for more upcoming women as well, whether in this profession or who are starting businesses in other fields as well. Yeah, just to be able to give back and be able to, you know, show them how I came to be here. Yeah. So far, I will say they've been just regular challenges of owning a business, being in a profession, but nothing I can say about.
How about being a black woman? It's how has that been? Any encounters?
Right. So again, I think because I'm in immigration, which is a very diverse field.
Very diverse, huh?
So I think that's been helpful as well. Okay. Because I have a lot of my clients, a lot of people of color, even other attorneys in this field are people of color. Okay. Even USCIS officers is a very big mix, especially in the Raleigh office. Yes, yes. So so I wouldn't really say that being black has really been made things bad. Right, and I think also it's been helpful also to be surrounded by other professionals of color as well. Yes, yes. I have a lot of other attorney friends who are black, Asian, Hispanic, and that has been helpful. Really, yes, and having that support system. So hopefully that continues to be that way going forward.
Wow, guys, I think this is one of the best episodes I have. And you guys, you realtors, I need one of you here. Some realtors won't come to my program because they think that I'm trying to sell myself. But, you know, I'm selling myself too. By the way, you accepting to be in this program really builds credibility for my account, my YouTube. my media company.
Right. No, that's good. I've been seeing all the work that you're doing.
Yes,
you're doing
and
a good job.
you're really helping me too, you know, just you accepting to be in it, you know, and big up to the people who have been here who are in the professional level and businessmen, you know, I really, really appreciate you guys who have been here before. And it's taking me to an elevation whereby I'm now improving my channel because it's really becoming a channel full of value. Full of value. And I think thanks to you and a few other friends who have accepted to come in and pour some value.
Yeah, that's good. We build each other up.
Yes, I appreciate. And anyone watching, make sure you subscribe. And also, what's your Instagram?
Changwesha Law. Changwesha_law.
Changwesha_law. I'll put that down here.
Okay.
And your website?
www.changweshalaw.com.
www.changweshalaw.com. And are you on Facebook too?
I am.
Okay.
On Facebook, my page is Law Office of Mercy Changwesha PLC.
Law Office of Mercy Changwesha PLC. Oh, got it. Well, guys, make sure you reach out. Don't hide in there. Don't be afraid or, you know, think that it's all over. It's not all over if you're in trouble. And if you are just hiding somewhere comfortable, get out of your comfort zone and, you know, claim what you have in this world. We come here and we claim what we have and, you know, get a little money together and she will help you. For real. She will help you. And, you know, thank you so much. But one very last question. What's your direction? I have a friend lawyer called Matemo. And about 3 years ago, I think 3-4 years ago, he was vying for a congressional seat. What's your direction? Am I going to be interviewing you as a Congress lady one of these days?
I have no political ambitions at this time.
Okay.
I really just want to focus on growing my practice and helping people with their immigration journey. Yes.
Okay. Oh, that's awesome. It looks like you're very solid. You know exactly what you want and where you're going. And that has been a very good thing for you.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you, Sam.
Wow, guys. Can never be better than this. So, until next time, this was Mercy Changwesha, the lawyer, and has a law firm, young as she is, and we'll be back again in future with her and some of her co-workers, because that law firm will be so big, you know. Next time you'll send another lawyer to represent you.
Correct.
Yes. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you, Sam. I appreciate it.
Yes, and we are done.